please welcome E.J. Whitten, together with his son Ted and grandchildren Dean, Jared and Kate.
They'll join the Big Dipper down there. And here's Dipper now. Good afternoon, Bruce, and welcome to the middle of the MCG as the two boys are going to call for the toss here. And Gary Ablett has won. He's caught heads and he's kicking right to screen. And I tell you, mate, I hope Victoria win by 1 point. Sorry, Malcolm.
What's it like down there, Dipper? It's breeze-wise, conditions-wise on the ground.
Well, the ground itself is quite hard in the middle, but around the centre half forward area, it is quite soft. And as far as the wind is concerned, as Malcolm said before, it's going to be very, very tricky down here for all players. It's a very swirly wind.
It would be remiss of me not to mention your interstate record at State of Origin. 8 starts, 1 win. Is that right, Dipper?
That is right, but at least I was there. I've got to tell you, there's not one dry eye in this stadium. What a great tribute that was for E.J. Whitten. And that's the reason why state football's alike as E.J. Whitten. It's an emotional game, Bruce.
It was, and it was an emotional moment, no question about that. To see Teddy hugging his son, Ted Jr., who also played for the state. Rain coming down today. Malcolm, start very important here to both teams.
Well, it is, Bruce, and these games sometimes can be just a little bit tense early too. Guys just filling out their way. And it is a big day. I mean, regardless of what other people think, I think state football is the pinnacle in a player's career from an individual point of view. Certainly premierships are great from a team point of view. But this is something special. This is what I think. Imagine a kid here today, Bruce, and this is the best way I can put it, is that watching Tony Lockett and Gary Ablett, surely as a kid that's what you'd want to do in this great game.
But that's what used to happen when you were a kid. I mean, if you played team football when you're 12 and 14, if you were selected in the combined side of any competition you played in, it was something that you've always aspired to.
Sure.
Peter Carey about to start the match. Couple of changes, it looks like, Malcolm. I can see Burke on the wing. Wanganeen's on Harvey. Lockett and Ablett both in the goal square.
Smart on Ablett.
Bullis has got low. Boyd out of the centre square, Couch in it. There's Lockett with Ben Hart. Pittman to go against Monkhorst. The first bounce in the State of Origin match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Pittman wins it. First kick to Wayne Schwass. To half forward, Gary Lyon, the vice-captain today. Wellman with him. It's a fair matchup. O'Donnell's handball. McDermott attacked it, missed it. Hocking. Buddha's left-hand handball, a beauty. O'Donnell, Lockett on the end of it. No free kick. Smart collides with a player. Harvey wanted to give it off. Goes for goal. Misses. You can feel the tension.
See, Wanganeen was met pretty solidly. Then he got up very slowly indeed.
Ben Hart to bring him back in. Down the middle. Pittman the target. The big monkey at the back. Platten over the top of it. And it's going to be a ball up. Platten playing in his 13th State of Origin game along with Craig Bradley. Gary Ablett chalking up number 11. Possible hail, we've had plenty of that. Strong winds, we've had plenty of that. It's 9 degrees in Melbourne. It won't get to 12. You can bet your bottom dollar. Hocking goes forward. Harvey off the ground. Ablett almost. Harvey again. And Smart. And Harvey has won the E.J. Whitten medal twice in recent years. He has a member of Club Ted, I think we should call it. And he's been very good early. The odds, it's take 4s Victoria and 2-1 South Australia. Victoria hot favourites. Ablett gets hold of it in the pocket. Off the ground. And Victoria score again a behind.
Gee, they're very difficult conditions down there. You can see Johnny Platten hit the ground once and his jumper covered in mud at the front there. Dipper mentioned at centre half forward. It looks like at both ends of the ground, particularly the end that the Victoria are going to now at centre half forward. It looks very, very muddy. This is Ben Hart for South Australia to kick in. Gets good distance, well outside 50 metres. Contest out there between Pittman and Monkhorst, and the free kick has been awarded to the Victorian player Damien Monkhorst, who was named on the interchange bench but has taken his place, and Jimmy Steins is at this stage on the bench. This is Boyd for Victoria. Boyd in towards half forward. Lockett at the back, taken by Platten. Little hand pass, a little bit of misunderstanding there maybe between Wellman and Platten. Strong play there for South Australia. Daffy just throws it onto his left foot, gets a little bit of ground away from the forward line there of Victoria, but it's forced over now for a throw in about 60 metres around from the Victorian goal.
One surprise, Richard Champion lining up at full forward for South Australia.
Yes, had that great game in the Bears, kick 5 a few weeks ago.
Well, good play. The Victorians now through Schwass. His right foot kick in towards centre half forward, trying to centre the ball. The charge on now, Ben Hart, obviously with the advantage there over Tony Lockett in mobility. The kick off the ground goes to Russell, back to Ben Hart. Good combination between the Crow Eaters. They get the ball down towards right half forward. Punched away there by Christou. Daffy in the action. Bayes couldn't take it with him, and now the umpire surely will call for a bounce as the ball is held in between wing and right half forward for South Australia.
Just thinking, this is probably the worst day for football we've had all year too, just weather-wise, and it really is going to test the player's skill.
Not completely unlike 89, I guess, where it was a very heavy going, wasn't it? The ball stuck a bit more. O'Donnell, Monkhorst, got it away. Pretty good effort, actually, to centre wing. Couch's hands were very good. Stevens on the end of it. Lockett. It'll take a good kick. Ablett saying, go for it.
With the swirly wind at the MCG, I always felt the wind was coming another way. It, just sort of swirl around. I always think you don't give the goals away here. Always kick to the middle of the goals, then you can work out your game plan from there.
We'll kick from about 40 to 45 metres. Tightish angle. Got 5 against South Australia in that crushing win in 1989. It's a great kick. Lockett scores the first goal of the match.
Marvellous play across half-back from the Victorians, and Couch's handball was just fantastic to Stevens. Bit wide, probably a bit wider than what Stevens would have liked and Lockett would have liked, but this great kick for goal. I think he's probably been the best kick. Peter McKenna would be the only one in my memory that such a great kick as Tony Lockett.
Victoria lead by 8 points. You can see the time left in the first term. 16 minutes. The bounce advantage Pittman. McDermott tried to get it back to Pittman. Nearly kicked clear. Now a chance again for McKay. Off the ground by Andrew Jarman. A struggle there. McDermott. Handball back to Andrew Jarman. He can't get rid of it. A very, very tight spot right in the middle of the MCG. The umpire. Gee, it was a heavy bump by Damien Monkhorst, wasn't it?
Some guys are just competitors, and he's one, isn't he? When there's a game of footy on, and I think it's been pretty lively so far. It's been very honest indeed. There hasn't been too many shirk the issue.
Well, I guess you come to expect that when these two sides come together. They've had some tremendous clashes since State of Origin was introduced. A free kick in the centre, and it looks as though, yes, it's going to David Pittman. He's opened up all right. There's no one on the mark at the moment. Still no one on the mark. Gary Hocking is the closest. Then he attends it. But Pittman gets a good kick in towards half forward. Rebounds. Chance now for Schwass. In towards half forward. Oh, great play there by Pittman. He started very well, David Pittman. A little bit of a query over whether he could handle it, but the hand pass to McKay. McKay to half forward. Good mark taken by Bayes. 50 metres from the South Australian goal.
Comes wide. Harvey the target. Centre wing. Still Harvey. Held it up pretty well. McDermott cut it off. Wanganeen clever, brilliant. The rubber man at his best there. Then on the left at 50. Darren Jarman in the box seat. Hines' handball pretty good. Tregenza has to straighten the body. Doesn't do it very well at all. And we saw him miss a couple against Footscray the other night, where he actually played very well for the Crows and probably won his spot in this game. And he's missed everything there. Silvani from the back pocket to half back. Pittman, Monkhorst. Hines a big flyer. Nathan Burke platting onto him. Stevens. Bradley. Great start to the season, out of sorts in recent weeks. Christou went to ground. Platten tried to go off the ground. Hines, Daffy, good tackle on him.
Christou in a little bit of trouble. The wind knocked out of his sails.
Yes, as Comment Rashudo ran into him, and very fairly. That's a beautiful hip and shoulder. There has been some talk that perhaps Mark Rashudo should play the footy a bit more. He's really starting to get a bit of a thug. Someone said to me, a bit of a thug attitude, and really can detract from your footy when you go the body all the time.
And he has proven to be a capable player.
Yes, indeed.
Boundary throw in left forward pocket for the Crow Eaters. Hines and Monkhorst. Hines gets a fist to it and it goes over for another throw in. At this stage, South Australia yet to score. Victoria have kicked 1 goal, 2. Tony Lockett, the goal kicker. Sunshine now prevailing at the MCG, but very, very cold. Christou can't get away. Monkhorst handball. The pressure applied by the South Australian forwards is good as Silvani prepared to give away a score, a rush behind to South Australia.
Yes, Hines playing centre-half forward. Mark Bayes playing on him.
Speaking of Bayes, Silvani's kick's a beauty. Bayes normally a great kick. Gets it towards half forward, low. Bullis will have to be quick. Handball not good, too far for McDermott. Off the ground, Stevens. Oh, here's a chance. Gary Lyon, he should make something of this. Lockett short, Ablett over the top. Good fly by Smart. Jarman, Boyd onto him. Couch, brilliant catch. Wonderful to Ablett, who misses it. Misses a lot. Couch's footy there was outstanding.
Yes, unfortunately, Gary threw it onto the boot. Thought he was under more pressure than really was. And that's the it's been like at the start, hasn't it? It hasn't been clean yet.
Yep.
What often happens.
Bullis goes to half-back. He was looking for McDermott. Hocking cuts it off. Chance for Harvey.
Harvey's been prominent. Hand pass gives away a little bit of ground back to Monkhorst. Monkhorst, his kick to within 30 metres. Ablett flies high. Lockett tries to con the umpire. Back to Robert Harvey. Snapshot by Harvey is offline. And through for his second behind of the game.
Started off very well, Robert Harvey. He really is keen as we look at the coach's box there and looking on very pensively.
Smart to kick in on this occasion. Goes straight down the ground. Looks for Pittman. Rebounds now for Tregenza. The little kick. Brilliant mark taken by Christou. Christou's in the middle of the ground. Recovered, obviously, from that knock from Rashudo. The kick goes to the members' side. Lyon interfered with. No free kick. No, the advantage has been paid. Schwass gathers and then kicks towards half forward. The high flyer there was McKay. On Couch, in goes Ben Hart. He's caught with the ball. The umpire surely will bounce at left half forward for Victoria.
Just probably going a bit wide with some of these kicks too, Lockett. Ablett's playing more straight. Lockett going a bit wide with his leading.
Smart's handball out of defence. Nathan Burke onto it at about 60 metres. High ball. Ablett and Smart. A real jostle there to ground. Couch's left foot straight into the arms of Lockett. Play on call, not far enough. Second goal to Lockett. Second to Victoria. Big man's reflexes were pretty good there.
Yes, and so was Paul Couch. Bruce, he was just great at getting that ball out. Interesting, the push and shove from Smart. Look at this. Smart is very, very strong. Ablett couldn't push him. Couch meant to do that. Kicked it just to Lockett and easy goal to Lockett. Couch very, very creative early.
Two, 3 to 1 behind. Victoria lead by 14 points. Pittman, a big fist to it. Gets it nearly up to half forward. Bayes, not bad. Kick kept it in front of himself. Russell, good gather. Awkward one, and that was an awkward one, but quite well done by Christou. Christou is at half back. Gets good distance with the kick. Back towards the middle of the ground. Monkhorst makes a contest. Handball by Boyd was good. Hocking over the top. O'Donnell had to stop. Then gathers off the left foot. Out in front of Lockett. Punched away by Ben Hart. It's 50 metres from the Victorian goal. Chance for Harvey. Harvey's little kick. Good play by Smart, but the ball ran away from him. And now the South Australians prepared to just clear the ball to the boundary line. And it will be thrown in right forward pocket for Victoria. They lead 2-3 to a point, and we've got 11 minutes left in this first term.
Yes, as the Mark Bickley and Todd Whitten and co look on. Got another wide attack there, Ian. Going out wide.
Hocking brings it back. Good kick, actually, right there. Lockett giving away a free kick this time to Ben Hart. Hart away to half-back. Has Bullis all on his own. Now, Darren Jarman will run for Bullis. Couch decides to go with Jarman. Not a bad move, actually. Inboard now to Pittman. Now, he's going to go with a little chip one to Darren Jarman. He finally gets it. 6 goals here the last time they played at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. On the left foot now. Good kick to Rashuto. Wonderful skills by Jarman. Had a bit of a shoulder problem, Jarman, during the week. Had to pass a fitness test yesterday, Darren Jarman. Rashuto can thump a footy. He's at about 50 metres. A kick from about 52. Will take a tremendous kick. It's to the point of the square. It was a good kick. Moncourt's got a hand on it. Silvani bit too easily. No pressure from the South Australians. Out to half-back. Stevens and Platten. Stevens has got the job on the little rat. Well played, Platten. Gets it to Tregenza. Tregenza's kick is a good one. Right to the goal square. A good take in the front by Champion, who's kicked the goal. Well done, Champion. That's just what they needed, Malcolm.
Yes, it was. And David Monkhurst looked to have his name written on that, but coming from too deep on a swirly day, really a fist on the footy just might have been the option. Platten did very well in a tight situation. Tregenza did pepper to the right spot this time. Monkhurst goes the grab and really just a fist away towards the boundary line. Really was not great percentage play there from Monkhurst.
Well, Champion has been pretty good for the Bears when he's been moved from defence to the forward line, and he gets South Australia's first goal. Victoria get the ball to half forward. Stevens approaching 50, kicks inside that area, out in front. Lockett, oh, good recovery, head pass over the top, sets it up for Boyd. Boyd goes in and gets the Victorians' third goal. Brad Boyd kicks his first goal. Victoria get their third. They lead by 14 points.
Tony Lockett's handball was most creative. The fact that he didn't go to ground after the marking contest. A lot of players here fall over. Tony Lockett just terrific at keeping his feet. And a great little hand pass over to Boyd. So Tony Lockett has had a hand in 3 of the goals so far. And a handy little break now for the Victorians.
(21-7). Lockett with a couple of goals and a handball to Boyd. Champion, the goal scorer for South Australia. Pittman has to sit and wait. He does it pretty well. Bradley got his hands on it. Stevens, Burke off the ground. Bullets just cut it off. Oh, well played by Burke, but Bullets will get a free kick in the back. At centre half back. He's just worked his way back here. There's Stewie Lowe. He's having a good season as a goal kicker in Tony Lockett's absence now for St Kilda. He's their mainstay. McKay gets hold of it from Bullis. McKay now at centre wing, keeps it low, doesn't kick it well. Bays, Hines didn't get into the action at all. Bays unable to take the mark. Schwartz just pushed it forward towards Mansfield. Going to ground, Harvey, Andrew Jarman to Daffy. Daffy out of bounds on the fall in the left forward pocket. Nick Daffy, 25 goals for Richmond this year. Wayne Schwartz, such a great season in '94 and coming back strongly this year. Moncourse at centre half back into the heart of the centre square. McKay's courage was wonderful because Lowe was coming hard. Platten gets hold of it now. Out to half forward. Victoria with the numbers. Christou. Daffy read it pretty well. Platten on the end of it. Christou puts the pressure on Andrew Jarman. Caught. Tries to get rid of it. Gone for holding it.
Of course, McKay took a long time to get up from that clash when he went for the mark. Stewie Lowe crashing into him. Just keep an eye on him over the next few seconds. This is Mansfield. Mansfield on the right-hand side of the ground, going down to the main scoreboard. Gets back onto his left foot, kicks in towards half foot. Gathered by Ablett. Magnificent. Lockett into the goal square. He's kicked 3. Well, I wonder whether Gary Ablett may have had a shot at goal, but the kick fell short. Lockett made an absolute certainty of it.
Yes, I'm not quite sure. Whichever way it went, it'll probably go down as assist. Michael Mansfield did very well there. He's running off half-back. A terrific gather by Ablett. And Ablett just chipped it over. I think he may have gone for it, but who cares? Lockett's got it.
Well, shades of that start with Lockett and Dunstall in '89 with Ablett and particularly Lockett here. The Victorian bench, David Neitz, the 20-year-old. He's the youngest player for Victoria today. Pittman doing all right, but South Australia trailing badly now, 4-3 to 1-1. Lockett's got 3 goals for the Big V. Moncourse Pittman again. Pittman reaches over the top. Harvey. Darren Jarman now in the centre square. Quick kick away to Daffy. Tregenza caught by Stevens. Andrew Jarman on the bottom of it. And Peter Carey comes in to have a bounce.
Bruce, aren't football supporters diehards? I mean, the weather this morning was absolutely terrible, and we've still come up with a pretty good crowd here.
Very, very healthy. Well over 60,000, you think. Couch being terrific. Harvey's quick left footer. Lockett in front again. Ablett, smart to try and mop up. Handball under pressure. Wanganeen. And now free kick coming back, I think, to South Australia. To Ben Hart, is it? Well, advantage given all the free kick down the field as such. And in this situation, further in defence. Wanganeen, chance here, but well done by Bullis. As I said, he's worked his way back into the Richmond team this season. New look Bullis. Haircut 2 or 3 weeks ago. Moncourse wasn't a good kick by Bullis because Moncourse was always in the box seat.
Moncourse is at left half forward for Victoria, about 85 to 90 metres from goal. He kicks in short into the pocket. The lead by Ablett. He's got it. Now, you would have to say that that was magical stuff by Gary Ablett.
Yes, he just got his body on the right side for the ball just floating and just kept Smart off it. Here he is, the ball starting to go to the right-hand side of Nigel Smart, and Ablett just props, turns his body, keeps him away from it, and as he can do many times, one hand and just sucked it into his belly. Just thinking about Lockett, he's causing some problems for Hart. I know he's run away from him, but one-on-one is going to be very difficult for Hart.
Ablett from 35 metres, kicks for goal and gets his first.
So the promoter's dream, Ian, was...
Rockets kicked 3 and Ablett 1. Yes, perfect setup.
And you just can't help but feel that as we watch this mark again, it really was just great body work. Knowing where your opponent is, feeling the body, when you first feel the body, give it a nudge, push him off. Beautifully done. So great start by the Victorians and a fantastic kick to win with. Great goal for Ablett.
6.5 minutes left in the first term. Gary Ablett has kicked his first goal. Tony Lockett has kicked 3 and Boyd has kicked 1, and Daffy is on the bench. Young Clark there with him. Todd Viney is on the ground in place of Nick Daffy. The umpire restarts play. And we've said Pittman doing a pretty good job. Andrew Jarman goes to ground. Football with Nathan Burke. Oh, a real struggle. Boyd gets it clear to Christou, and Christou kicks Victoria into their half-forward area.
Off hands, free kick to Wanganeen. The Vics have kicked 3 goals in 5 minutes after champions goal for South Australia.
Interesting, they're winning a lot of 50-50 balls at the moment. As we look at this replay, Wanganeen the free kick. They're just winning a lot of those tight contests at the moment, the Victorians.
Viney, as Robbo said, on for Daffy. Goes in short. McDermott, the captain, on the end of it.
Player on his own out wide.
It's Pittman, and he'll have Bullis to run for him. Gets to him now. Now Bradley makes the lead. Bullis goes to Bradley at half forward. Gets him. Important that Bradley, who's been such a stalwart for South Australia, it's won the Foss Williams 3 times, plays a big one. Got Pittman, well done. Made the ground, couldn't hold it. Champions handball was very loose. Was just hoping for Hines, and Bay's able to cut it off. Graham Corns, 6 starts, as we said before, against Victoria, remarkably 6 wins. Today, he's right behind the 8 ball. Bays, John Cahill coached the team here in 1989 when they were beaten by 86 points. Jarman, Boyd's got the job on him. Jarman gets a free kick.
Pretty ordinary.
Fantastic from Boyd, I thought he just harassed him enough without impeding him.
Centre wing Jarman gets up and under it a bit to centre half forward. Front spot was Rasciuto. Going to ground Stevens. Rasciuto with him, champion. Burke coming in. And the Vics with a couple of pats on the back. They're pretty happy with the end result there. Victoria 5-3, South Australia 1-1.
Well, their first quarter so far has been very good. South Australia, on the other hand, just a little fortunate through champion to get their first goal. And Silvani outpoints him on this occasion. Good safe chest mark by Stephen Silvani. He comes down the wing. Good position has been made here by Mansfield. Tackle by Platten, but Mansfield does well. He's playing confident football, Michael Mansfield. He's kicked towards half forward, good mark to Line. Line has been paid the mark, 50 metres from goal. He was dumped, but nothing happening.
Just keep looking at that forward line. If the ball keeps going down there, You can just see a multitude of goals.
The Vicks have made their ruck change. Monkhorst on the bench for the last few minutes, and Jimmy Steins has taken his place. The kick by Lyon is quite magnificent. A goal from 50 metres. So the three champion forwards have now figured in the goal kicking. Lockett 3, Lyon 1, Ablett 1, and Brad Boyd has kicked the 6th goal.
And Brad Boyd would feel pretty good at the moment. This is a great kick from Lyon. A super kick. That's what I'm saying, and he didn't give the goals away at any stage. Now, you think on blustery day to blow it around.
Good point.
It just holds its line for some reason or other, most times, more often than not.
Tregenza out of the centre, 6-3-1-1. Hines touched off the boot, obviously called play on. Hocking did well. Pittman having a good first quarter. Tregenza from 50. Right there again. Rasciuto didn't quite get to him. Champion and Silvani. Well played by Sauce. His handball to O'Donnell. This has been a wonderful exhibition by Victoria in this first quarter, with Lyon and Ablett and particularly Lockett starring up forward and their midfielders dominant. Christou's kick very close to the line. Touched by Jarman, out of play.
Tregenza really was entitled to do more with that kick, wasn't he? I mean, even a Dardia lead or something, he just didn't quite finish it off.
Steins on the ground for Monkhorst. Pittman, Viney, Bradley gets his 3rd kick. Up to half-forward champion, Silvani, Christou, O'Donnell, and again out of play. Platten, as I said, with Bradley playing their 13th State of Origin game. There's Gary O'Donnell. Best and fairest at Essendon a couple of seasons back in their premiership year. Steins down to Hocking. Hocking's quick kick away. McKay underneath it. Got a real tough one from low early in the match. Couch gets it from Harvey. There have been 2 of the midfielders who have started. Lyon so clever. Turned Wellman inside out again. But he's got Lockett and Ablett. He can bang it long safely. Ablett leads. Lyon Lockett leads. He kicks it beautifully to him. Well done though by Hart that time.
Once again to that pocket. I know it's I don't want to keep harping on it. I just think it's just wasting a few opportunities, Victoria. They've absolutely dominated the quarter, and really perhaps 5 goals is not a great reward at this stage.
So 39 plays 7. 32-point margin in favour of Victoria. Andrew Jarman gets the ball to Viney. Viney is at centre-half back. Goes long. That's a beautiful kick. It's a 60-metre kick to half-forward. The ball is punched away. Mansfield is the first to recover. Goes with the hand pass, perhaps knowingly that Stevens was in a little bit of trouble there. And it goes for the safety of the line. Platten and Stevens. Ruckman contesting this. Champions come a long way down. Steins, Stevens again. All clear from the field umpire for the boundary umpire to throw it in. 51 metres from the South Australian goal. Steins, champion. Well, that throw in certainly advantaged Steins. Darren Jarman couldn't get past. Anthony Stevens a quick kick back towards the half-back flank on the other side of the ground. Burke and Bradley. Bradley does well. Throws his left foot at it. Christou. McDermott gone. Gets the hand pass away. Umpire calls play on. Anthony Stevens working hard across that half-back line. Steins, a little kick, is a beauty and finds Harvey.
It's been prominent early, Harvey. This is his 7th kick and goes to half-forward. Hocking and Wanganeen out of play. Some great matchups, Malcolm, when you look around the ground, aren't there?
Yes, it is. It's marvellous. Just once again, the South Australians just can't win that ball in tight to set something up with flow. Bradley and Platten have always been under pressure with their kicks.
Couch again, clever. Hocking beautifully done to Harvey. Should kick a goal, Robert Harvey. Not this time, across the face. And Hocking's back turn there and left-hand handball spot on. 3 points to Robert Harvey. 6-4 to 1-1. 8 kicks though.
If there's any criticism of Robert Harvey, it would have to be his kicking, wouldn't it? I mean, he's just not quite as good as, say, Jarman or even either Jarman brother.
No, that's true. Finds space beautifully for himself, though. Here he is again.
Yes, getting touches left, right and centre. Now to Burke, his St Kilda teammate. He goes wide.
Interesting kick that, Bruce. Players at kick-off we've seen that 3 or 4 times already in the game. just standing there and kicking, you can't get momentum through your legs. So actually your left foot, your plant foot moves and you slid off the side of the boot.
So boundary throw in left half forward for Victoria. Under a minute left. Chance for Bullis, but he runs into some strife there. Gang tackling by Victoria was excellent. Pittman in trouble across the half-back line. Andrew Jarman will get South Australia back towards the wing. It's punched away by Mansfield. The ball rebounds. O'Donnell does well. He spotted Steins, and the tap went to the advantage of the big ruckman. Harvey again, knocking up, getting hold of the football. He's kicked to the 50-metre line. Hocking and Wanganeen. It's knocked forward, but there's Ben Hart for South Australia to kick them out of trouble, and that long kick back to the centre. Nearly marked by Christou. Gatherers by Champion. Champion's kick is not bad. It'll lob in a vacant half-forward area. Gathered by Bickley. He's well tackled. Ball spills for Christou. He's well tackled by Andrew Jarman, and surely the umpire will bounce. Centre half-forward for South Australia. Jarman with the ball as the siren sounds, and at quarter time there's some pretty excited Victorian fans, because at quarter time Victoria leads 6-4 to 1-1.
Neil Curley, one of the South Australian selectors, one of South Australia's greatest state players. 6-4-1-1. Pittman with the tap. Couch again very good. Went past McDermott. Stuart Lowe trying a quick handball. Bullis has done all right in the first quarter. Couch has been excellent. Wanganeen. Bullis paddling it towards the line and finding it.
You put your teammate under a bit of pressure there. Wanganeen's hand pass.
Wonder if Wanganeen has got the job on Harvey here, Malcolm. He's with him at the moment. Harvey with 9 kicks in the first quarter. Lowe and Pittman now. McDermott. Bickley on the ground. His first run. Left foot, high ball, gets a bit of distance. Burke courageous against the flow, wasn't it?
Just super.
It was up in the air for a long time, so he knew what could happen. Squares it to Monkhorst. Now Monkhorst rucked probably for the first 20 minutes of the match, and then Steins came off the interchange and got straight into the play. Monkhorst has kicked back to centre wing. Low, terrific mark. Play on call. Tregenza, left-hand handball. Bradley's quick left foot. O'Donnell on the end of it. Takes a mark. Handball to Bayes. Bayes' handball to Schwass. To Bayes. Those left footers that Gerard Healy talked about. Bayes to half forward. Wanganeen gets back. Ablett coming, but Wanganeen safely takes the mark. Squares it out wide. Russell. He's got to go against Monkhorst. Goes to ground. Russell. It's a very quiet start to this match. Left foot out wide. Viney should go inside. Now Tregenza must finish off here. He's got a bit of space. Bounces awkwardly as usual. Pops it up high. Was hoping for Hines. Silvani worked in the front cleverly. Free kick shortly to Silvani. Hung on to, and he'll get it against Hines.
When is that advantage paid? Like there, when the bloke ran clear?
Yeah, I think the umpire might have been undecided to see that Gary Hocking had picked the ball up.
Schwass in the right back pocket for Victoria. Little kick is not bad, and finds Nathan Burke. Burke goes down the ground. Opportunity now for Victoria through Callaway. Now Callaway, hand pass quickly to Stevens. Stevens, good kick to half forward. Punched away by the South Australian defence in Bullis. Kick off the ground, goes towards full forward Ablett. Brilliant football. That's what we came to see. Gary Ablett, left foot snap. Good mark. Under pressure, Ben Hart safely on his chest. Short kick finds Nigel Smart. He's got a player in support. Could have nearly given it to him. He will now. It's Andrew McKay. McKay close to the boundary line at right half back. Kicks South Australia down towards the wing. Marking contest. Gathered by Christou. Handball not bad. Very effective to Gary Hocking. He's got some space. Off the left foot. Pass is terrific. The lead was good, but the kick was quite fantastic in these conditions by Gary Hocking. And Lockett has marked 35 metres from goal.
Yes, marvellous skills. Had the pleasure of watching Gary, of course, for 6 years, and when he gets some space and someone leads at him, he very rarely misses. Just great control, and you're actually not born that way, Ian. You have to practice it, and Gary spends most of his life practicing footy, which is terrific.
Good luck to him, because that was certainly a beautiful kick for Lockett. He must have licked his chops when he let out for that, Tony Lockett. He's kicked 3. Tony Lockett, what a kick. Magnificent goal, Lockett. with 4 out of 7. Looming as a real danger for South Australia. 7-4 to 1-1.
Yes, as we watch this again, they did very well across that centre line. Looked at the opportunities here, Gary Hockey. Just a beautifully weighted kick. Just let him run into it. Just sensational. He didn't belt it at him. Just let Tony Lockett make his pace to the footy. And then that great kick, as Ian called. Marvellous stuff.
7-4 to 1-1. Lockett now with 4 goals. Victoria having a tremendous start to this match. McDermott over the top. Handball good to Platten. Platten through the centre now for South Australia. 2 centre half forward. Champion's been shifted out there. Viney couldn't quite get to it. Christou off the ground. Rasciuto, Christou, Viney back with Rasciuto in the pocket under pressure. Kick out of bounds on the full.
Chris, I was just looking at the forward line structure of South Australia. Hines is not leading. Platten really had an opportunity then perhaps to kick to a leading player. Perhaps Rasciuto, who has played there before, you need a leading player there. You need an option. You need an easy goal. This way they're not going to kick any easy goals.
Swap's been made. Hines at full forward. Darren Jarman now playing out of the pocket, trying to squeeze a goal from somewhere South Australia. Andrew Jarman to Bradley. Back to full forward. Darren Jarman's at the back here, but well done Victoria to get it away. Over the top, Silvani holds it up. Play on called. Allowed to go. Platten's there. Stevens looking for a free kick. Worked out. Hocking working into the game very well. Monkhorst out of play. At half-back for Victoria, right half-forward South Australia.
Just some good umpiring then too. They just let it go and eventually cleared the pack. Wayne Campbell on the bench, the Richmond player. Big leap and knocked clear there by Callaway. Attempted kick off the ground by Gary Hocking. South Australia get it forward now. McDermott is at 50 metres. He's kicked to the square. Darren Jarman, and it's knocked over by Bays for a boundary throw-in. 7-4 to 1-1. Lockett has kicked 4. So the problem that South Australia were looking at when the teams were selected is quite evident so far in this match. Hines in front, Platten a chance. Close to the line, and the umpire, the boundary umpire, that is, deems that he was over. So a throw in the right forward pocket for the Crow Eaters. Nick Daffy, who started on the ground, was replaced in the first term by Todd Viney.
Pretty important to keep warm down there too. It's going to be very cold, those players, when they come on the ground.
Hines and Monkhorst. Monkhorst gets the front posse. Not clear by Russell, but Nathan Burke gathers and then kicks out towards the wing, looking for Stuart Lowe. He couldn't take the mark. Bullis was good. And just forced a real contest there, Paul Bullis, for a throw-in on centre wing, the Victorian camp. Gee, there's some experienced people there in that Victorian coach's box.
Pittman and Lowe right in front of the 7 commentary box at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Pittman, well done. To Bickley. Bickley at centre wing. Centering kick. Champion in the front spot. Well done at the back by Monkhorst. Worth a kick. Low. Handball okay. Christou. Taken by Bullis. Bickley won't have much room. Good shepherd though by Champion. Bickley centering kick. Monkhorst on the end of it. Victoria 7-4 to 1-1. Handball to Stevens. Platten tries to run him down. Great kick to Boyd. Boyd has kicked the goal. Sidesteps McDermott. Goes cleverly to Lockett. Wonderful play by Boyd. Return the favour to Big Tony, who handballed it out. Lockett on quickly. Couch. He's got it. Free kick. Mark paid. Both Ablett and Couch had set up a 2-on-1 situation, and Lockett, who is so unselfish, was able to get it on quickly.
Ablett's in the square on his own.
It just shows the leading player, the quick breakaway. If you have someone to lead, with the skill of these players, they should find him.
Couch going for Victoria's 8th goal. Aren't they going well, the Big V?
Talking about kicks for goal, he's not a bad kick for goal either, Couch.
No, it's excellent skills. One of the best kicks I've ever seen in the game, really. When he gets clear, it really is a beautiful kick. It's working very well. They've kept the forward line open. As we look at this, it was virtually a mark. I didn't think you'd almost call that a mark. Great mark. Under pressure, knew it was coming. And then a terrific kick from Paul Couch. Great play from the Victorian side.
So play restarted. Christou gets it down. Couch kicks it forward. 50 metres from the Victorian goal. Under pressure, Smart. Forced to kick quickly and kicks it. Safety.
Actually, it is
over the line.
Yes, a lot of that kicking has been around the corner from the South Australians, isn't it? They really have been under pressure. Just can't break away.
Boundary throw in. Near the wing. Andrew Jarman summed that up pretty well. Down to Bradley. Bradley, a reverse torpedo punt. Lands on the chest of Bayes.
Bayes centering kick. Good one to Boyd. Good hands by Boyd. It's the lone Fitzroy player out there. It's great for the club to have a representative, and he hasn't let them down. He played against South Australia last year. To half forward, low, good hands and strength. To Harvey, probably not the right option. To Gary Lyon on the left foot. Ablett can't quite get into the picture this time. Mark taken by Tregenza at centre half back. South Australia really struggling here at 1-1 to 8-4. Pushes it wide to Smart, can have a run here. Ben Hart to provide a Shepherd. Schwartz to put a bit of pressure on. Smart at centre wing, terrible kick. Mansfield in front of Darren Jarman. Darren Jarman calling for it longer. Not working all that hard at the moment. That Jarman. The other one is Schwartz gets it to half forward, to Couch. It's a real exhibition now to Lyon. Ablett. Play on call. Good effort there by Clark, who's coming to the ground for South Australia. Ben Hart runs away, touches on the ground once. Christou being shepherded by Viney. Hart, to Viney. Now back to Viney. Inside to Matthew Clark. Awkward kick, but he finds Rashudo at centre wing. They're working so hard, aren't they, in comparison?
Yes, nothing flowing at all for them, and I thought that was a free kick to Gary Ablett. I didn't think you could do that from the front.
Rashudo, well-weighted kick to Hines. Burke and Bradley, they're having a good duel, actually. Smothered there. Good tackle, actually, on Kellaway, left, right and centre. And it's going to be a ball up at right half forward. But South Australia 1-1 and Victoria 8-4.
That was running into a dead end at the in the back lane, wasn't it, Duncan Kellaway? Monkhorst, a big right fist to it. Gathered by Boyd, the hand pass just a little too fierce. Andrew Jarman from 50 metres. Finishes beautifully. South Australia get their second goal.
Yes, and Andrew Jarman just being shaded by Boyd at the moment. We know he's a great player underneath packs. Really can't get clear like most of these South Australians, and it really was, I suppose, fortuitous what happened here. The ball really has too hot there for Gary O'Donnell, and Jarman just saw the opportunity and wobbled one through. Badly needed. Need a couple more to make a game of this now.
So the ruckman to go at it, back at the centre. 52 plays 13. That's a 39-point margin once again for Victoria. Andrew Jarman gets into the play and kicks it to half forward. Punched away by Bayes. Ball rebounds for Nathan Burke. Handball over the top. Well done there by Darren Jarman on Mansfield. Hand pass to Rashudo. Back to McDermott. McDermott's on the wing. Kicks it in towards centre half forward. The high flyers, no one could take the mark. It was very difficult. Bayes, hand pass over the top. Harvey's got to move it. He did. He summed that up well, Robert Harvey. Monkhorst beaten for it there by Bickley. Gets it back near the centre of the ground. Russell couldn't quite control the ball. Todd Viney's hand pass, not bad. Russell off the left foot. Kicks towards half forward. Nearly a mark to champion. He fights on gallantly when the ball hit the ground. Clark to Platten. Back to Viney. And Viney's kick to full forward. 2-on-1. They will mark. No, Silvani couldn't quite hang on to it. Boyd is back there to help him out. His kick close to the line. Tregenza. Harvey the tackler. Tregenza gets his right foot to it, but only as far as Nathan Burke, who is playing well for Victoria, and he is marked in the back pocket.
Goes in short. Schwarzl cut off by Tregenza. To Jarman. Can he kick his second? No, hooks it. It's a behind. 2-2-8-4. Jarman getting some touches though now. Played so well at this level so often. Silvani to bring it back in. And that's only been 3 or 4 minutes, but South Australia's actually enjoyed its best little patch of the match in that period. It's been highly competitive. It's been one-way traffic other than the first, say, 10 minutes of the game. O'Donnell's high ball, low underneath it, getting some good touches in the second quarter. Played second fiddle to Ablett, Lockett and Lyon in the opening term. Centering kick good to Moncourse. Loose men everywhere for Victoria. Schwass on the end of it. Good kick again. Well, I say good. It just floated past Boyd in the end. McKay out wide. Looking for Rasciuto. Kellaway with him. Bradley has had 7 kicks already. Goes short to Hines. Silvani works him out beautifully. Runs off him cleverly to another Carlton player in Christou. Well played Christou to Harvey. Caught. Harvey had the nous though to get it over the top to Kellaway. His handball had some legs. Got to Mansfield. Uses Couch. No. Doesn't. Decides to keep it in the corridor, so to speak. Ablett at the back of Hart. Hart and Ablett. Hart had the job on Lockett early. Was beaten. Is now on Ablett, and the ball looked as if it was touched by Couch. Darren Jarman gets it at half back. Normally a great kick. Goes towards Platten. Was worked out of position well by Stevens. Back to Schwass. Tries the old dummy. Over the top. Harvey caught. Under pressure. Wasn't a good option. Tregenza hopefully can finish off. Gets to Hines. That's good footy. Finds him.
Well, the first easy kick in the forward line's got all day. So David Hines really needs to finish this off. And the tempo South Australia just lifted, as you said, Bruce, in the last 5 or 6 minutes. They really have controlled the footy.
So an important kick in the context of what's been a one-sided game. Hines from 50, keeps it low, won't quite make it. A couple of South Australians there. Chance for Russell, left foot. Well, it looked a gimme, didn't it?
I thought the way he looked that he'd put it through.
Although I have seen goals missed from that close on this ground.
Not in grand finals, were they? Kick in by O'Donnell to half-back. Excellent kick. Mansfield is marked. Moves it on quickly. Out into the path of Robert Harvey. He's still getting plenty of the football, Robert Harvey. He's on centre wing. Gets onto his right foot. This is a much better kick. In towards half-forward. Nearly taken there by Lowe. Couch. Disciplined kick, but too quick was Ben Hart. Runs away from Ablett. Kicks it back towards the centre of the ground. Moncourse too tall. And he takes a straightforward mark near the centre of the ground. Darren Jarman, the South Australian player, attending the mark. Hand pass to Gary Hocking. Hocking's kick. Looks for Ablett. Just gets rid of Hart. Is he quick enough to recover? He's strong enough. He slips over. Ben Hart does well. In goes Andrew Jarman. Gary Ablett tries to move it on. Terrific struggle there. Tregenza spins out of trouble. And then the short kick to the wing, but it's been marked brilliantly by Bayes. Bayes off the right foot. Great kick. And Lockett made ground like you've never seen Tony Lockett do before.
Remember when I first saw this Tony Lockett play as a young fella, I'd never seen a bigger bloke get down as low consistently. And just looking at this from the reverse angle, isn't that is just absolutely sensational. A big man. Have a look at this. He is 6'5", mind you. That is a freak performance. Sometimes you can mark him high, but sometimes like that is equally as difficult.
Well, you can see there that he's going for his 5th goal, Tony Lockett. And Victoria's 9th. He's kicking from 40 metres and pretty well straight in front. The goal umpire doesn't move. Lockett's kicked 5. Goals to Lockett, singles to Lyon, Ablett, Couch and Boyd. And Victoria lead 9-4 to 2-3.
And you just go back to that, this is sensational. I love watching this. I mean, he's turned himself upside down almost to mark that. Have a look at the desire on his face. And that goal down the other end from Russell that was missed was just so important.
58-15, Lockett with 5 goals. Victoria going great guns here in the State of Origin match. Moncourse off now, and Stein's on, as they did in the opening term. Peter Carey, Darren Goldsmith and Dennis Rich have the honour here today of umpiring footy at the highest level. Steins, quick kick by Bickley. To half-forward. Champion was a hot ball. Platten at ricocheted off Russell. Platten to fall forward. Hines works his way. Surely a goal here. He's got it. Well done. Some good play by the big man. And South Australia back to 3-3 to run for.
The sound cry from Strathalbyn in South Australia. Yeah, great goal there by Hines. It was pretty smart stuff. Terrific gift there by Champion. Platten with the quick kick. Terrific body work. When you first feel the body nudge, and that's exactly what David Hines did there and got rid of Silvani.
So Wellman on the ground for South Australia at the expense of Richard Champion. Jimmy Steins jumps early, gets rid of Clark, then gets his right foot to it, kicks it clear of the congestion. Darren Jarman off his left foot, kicks to the 50-metre line, punched away by Christou. Well done, Platten. Rashudo, handball, sit underneath that. Andrew Jarman does and controls it nicely. Tries to get it back to Rashudo. A little kick off the ground. Probably rebounds to the disadvantage of South Australia. Mansfield's handball. Schwass leaves it and was going to collect Bickley. Andrew Jarman, no. Mansfield, still a real struggle for the clearance. Mansfield out to Couch. Couch brilliantly gets past. Boyd backs himself, then gets it to Stevens. Stevens goes towards goal. Have a look at that kick. You couldn't possibly stop that, Ben Hart. Gary Ablett judged it well, and he's marked only 25 metres out on a very slight angle.
Michael Mansfield's persistence across the half-back line was just great, and really another 50-50 ball the Victorians have run, and it ended up with Stevens, who just weighted the kick beautiful, and Ablett with hands high and just avoided Hart's approach.
Ablett going for his second goal. Could blow it out to 43 points if he kicks this. Well, by Gary Ablett's standards, that was about a 3 out of 10 effort. He kicks it behind. He's kicked 1 goal, 2, as we see Richard Champion having a spell on the bench for South Australia.
Smart, straight down the centre, gets good distance right into the centre square. Boyd punts it away. Gary Lyon, high tackle by Jarman, free kick. Kicked a thumping goal in the opening term, Gary Lyon. What a superb season he's having. Goes out short, Hocking. Have a look at this. Ablett on his own if he wants him, but he should take a shot from 25. Three times in the last 4 years he's won the best and fairest at Geelong, Gary Hocking. He gives it a hook. So the couple of Cats, arguably their two most famous players, certainly Ablett and Hocking of the last decade, missing.
Giving the goal away. What you said earlier about kicking straight at the middle of the goal.
That's right, yeah. You just feel as though the wind's coming at you from a different angle. Oops.
Ben Hart.
Oh no, it's blown back.
It looked a mistake, but turned out all right. Chris McDermott, the South Australian captain, in the back pocket, goes out to Clark at half-back. He was runner-up in Brisbane's best and fairest, ex-South Adelaide, making his debut for the state today. Bayes got rid of Wellman. Good tackle, actually, by Viney on Mansfield. He's a real competitor, Viney.
There's two Melbourne teammates here, isn't it? Todd Viney and Gary Lyon.
Peter Carey with it. It's Gary Lyon. Look at the marks for this term. Victoria, a whopping advantage everywhere at the moment. Kicks, handballs, marks, goals. 9-6 to 3-3. Sean Wellman. First game for his state today. Clark and Steins. We saw them in Brisbane and Melbourne added here a few weeks ago. Stevens gets it from Bayes. Bayes having a big match. Here's G. Hocking. The Buddha on the left. Well, Buddha goes towards you-know-who. Ablett. No, well played McKay. And Hart, they combine well there. Here's Nigel Smart with a run. Likes to do this.
Streams away from half-back and kicks towards half-forward. Platten is on his own. He could set this up, Johnny Platten. Gets back onto his right foot. Kicks in towards half-forward. A little too short there for Hines. Kick off the ground by Stevens. Not too bad. Mansfield in a bit of trouble, but able to get the hand pass wide to Silvani, who'd come all the way down the ground. Harvey missed the tackle, Wanganeen. Darren Jarman didn't miss Robert Harvey. Still, the umpire calls play on. The ball spills wide. Couch can't get clear. Eventually, just knocks it wide to McDermott. Andrew McKay at Wanganeen. Darren Jarman to Andrew Jarman. Mansfield being very good across half-back. Kicks it in towards half-forward. Lockett out in front. Strong hands, strong body. Great mark. Lockett with 5 goals, 6 kicks, 7 marks.
So it's this Tony Lockett, just the difference there being that big. We saw him on the ground before picking up a low ball, and now what we do is see him at his aerial best. Arms outstretched in front. I mean, Ben Smart really had almost no hope of getting that. And you can just see the bulk of the man. Ablett was there in pretty good position to start with, but he's really almost moved him off the ball as well.
So Lockett from his 7th kick could have 6 goals against his name. And that could be 6 straight. Rain steadily falling now at the cricket ground. Lockett's kick is offline. So 3 very good kicks in Gary Ablett, Gary Hocking and Tony Lockett, all missing in the last 5 minutes for Victoria. They add to their score. They're 9-7. South Australia 3-3.
Ben Hartshaw gets Nigel Smart inside the final minute of the opening half. Out wide to Bickley. Inboard to Wanganeen at centre half back. Runs away, keeps it low. Looks for Bullis. Good take. It'll be paid. Late goal here would be handy for South Australia. Bullis out wide. Very wide to Viney. Viney keeping it wide. Hines on the end of it. Gets to him. Oh, couldn't quite. Gets a free kick for a push against Silvani. So Hines, Premiership player at West Coast. Played in, I think, 3 premierships in a row at Port Adelaide before he went to Western Australia. Not a bad kick. Right to the goal square. Push and shove. Platten should have handballed. Maybe left foot. Good. Great kick, Platten. He's got a goal. Wonderful goal. Oh, well, I had the binoculars on that all the way. And thought he squeezed it home.
I'm confounded.
To be honest, Bruce, I thought it went straight in line with the goalpost. To be when the kick
You're
first
spot
went.
on, Malcolm, because it was a behind. It looked terrific from where I was. Maybe it's the South Australian coming out of me as O'Donnell kicks it out wide to Lowe. Good mark by Big Stewie to Burke. And what a first half by Victoria. And if you could pick one man out, I think it would have to be Tony Lockett with his 5 goals. But gee, he's got some mates that are with him. Gary Ablett's kicked 1 and kicked 1-2 Lockett. The midfield has been exceptional. Gary Lyon had a booming goal. Andrew Jarman's been pretty good. 7 kicks, 5 handballs for South Australia. And here's the big dipper with Neil Curley.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Look, a better quarter then, Curls, even though the scoreboard doesn't show it.
Yeah, it's seen a better quarter for us, but we're still not scoring, and we've got Lockett up there today is just unbeatable. And so we've got a real problem with him. And around the ground then, we sort of got back into the game a little bit. A few players found the footy, but the Vics are starting to get their confidence going, and once they get that, they're hard to beat. They're running well, they're finding the ball well, and they're supporting one another very
At
well.
half-time, you were looking for a full forward. I mean, really,
Yeah.
that's been disappointing for you today.
Well, we just haven't got one at this moment. We've just got to struggle and do the best we can.
Curls, put your jumper back on, son.
I'd love to think I could. See you, mate.
Good on you, Neil, with Dipper. So the score at half-time at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. 9-7 Victoria, 3-4 South Australia. Daffy back on. Start the second half. 9-7, 3-4. Big roar here, good crowd. Well over 60,000, you'd think. On a bitterly cold day in Melbourne, Tony Lockett's 5 goals, a highlight of the first half. The big monkey out of the centre square. Kicks to half forward in the Gary Lyon direction. Wayne Schwass normally swings around onto the left. Handball, put Couch under pressure. Good tackle at the back by Viney. Tregenza, Viney, who was very competitive after starting on the interchange. Free kick here, is it? Or going to be a bounce? Ball up by the look of it. Gary O'Donnell not too happy. And I guess retrospectively, Bickley and Viney starting on the interchange was a bit of a surprise in these conditions. Monkhorst's handball. McDermott, the captain. Back towards Clark. It's one of those gangly, awkward players who is pretty effective. The Brisbaner. ex-South Adelaide, kicks back in towards the centre square. South Australia with the numbers. Viney went to ground. Handball by Bickley was good to Wanganeen. Wanganeen to half forward. Hines in the front spot. Rashudo went with him. Champion caught. Tackle was pretty good. Viney on the bottom of it. He's working hard. Bayes was there. Burke. Darren Jarman, Champion. Burke. It'll be a bounce about 50 metres from South Australia's goal. They're 3-4 Victoria 9-7. Crow Eaters need a couple of quick ones here to give themselves a sniff. Moncourse, Viney again, Wanganeen quickly to fall forward. Hines punched away from him. Platten and also Schwass. Schwass and Platten, handball by Schwass, pretty good. O'Donnell on his right foot, one of a number of left footers playing for the Big V. Wanganeen getting touches early. Viney probably should have given it back to Wanganeen, tried to ride the tackle, couldn't out of play.
I was just watching David Hines go for that mark. I mean, he's just got to grit his teeth and steel himself. Silvani's just pushing him the ball away too easy, isn't he, really?
Yeah, getting a bit passionate now.
Yeah,
grit his teeth and get after that ball.
Well, yeah,
is that to warm you up or warm the game up?
Well, it's a bit of both. I mean, you just want to see a bloke written on his face to say, I want to get this.
I can agree, because there's players watching, and once you see them go with a determined look, surely it must lift them. Their efforts have been pretty good so far in the early part of this third term. Wanganeen gets his third possession in the first 3 minutes. The kick to half forward. Bayes leaves it behind. Champion makes a good contest of it and at least holds it up. And number 22, Duncan Callaway, for the Victorian side.
Yeah, and that kick just went too far forward then. 15 metres in front of the goal square is the perfect place where you should really practice it from a team point of view. That's normally what happens. That one was just too far forward. It really makes it very difficult to score from there.
So after the bounce, just a little bit of scrappy play. The umpire will have to throw it in the air once again. At centre half forward for South Australia. Clark doing well. Callaway gets his left foot to it. Goes only as far as Darren Jarman. Little hand pass, not too good. Stevens intercepts. Gathers, good gather by Lowe. Ball handling there wasn't too bad, but Platten chipped in for South Australia. Kicks to half forward. Bradley leaves it behind. Attempted gather there by Daffy it was. And now a free kick will go to Nick Daffy on the right-hand forward point of the square for the Crow Eaters. The kick in towards the full forward area drops in short. And Moncourse, where all good ruckmen should be, dropping back to fill up that gap. Hand pass to Schwass. Away to Bayes. Bayes, a long kick. Sets it up. Too far for Stuart Lowe. And it goes over on the full. The free kick to be taken out there by Paul Bullis. No addition yet to the half-time scoreline. Bullis for South Australia on centre wing. The weather trying very hard to be kind. Clark from behind. Moncourse has paid the mark, the man in front.
And quite rightly so too. Need a spark, South Australia. Really need to get something going. Perhaps a mistake like that might be it.
Hocking around the body under pressure. Jarman read it well. Darren Jarman tapped it down to Andrew Jarman. Back to centre half forward. Callaway courageous to Burke. Burke out to half back. Stevens running hard. Had a good first half. He's got momentum up against McDermott. It's just out of play at centre wing. So bathed in sunlight on that part of the ground, warming the players up. 9 kicks and 3 handballs for Anthony Stevens. Going with John Platten, who was pretty good also in that first half in terms of possessions for South Australia. Lowe's quick kick to half forward. Lyon, great mark against McKay. Tremendous skills. There's a long kick, as we know. Ablett and Lockett to make the lead. Lyon switches it across to Hocking. Continuing to build, Hocking. Wider still to Harvey. Lockett in the goal square. Boyd was running for him. Ablett now going back to the goal square. Harvey 9 kicks in the first quarter, 1 in the second. 16 possessions to date. Kicked 3 points in the opening turn. It's right there. Ablett's got it.
I think everyone's pretty happy about that.
Do you have any ideas on how long Gary Ablett can last in football?
I think that Gary's one of those unique characters, got this fantastic skill. It'll be a gradual game. I've got a players hit a brick wall and stop quickly. Gary Ablett won't stop quickly. It'll just be a gradual fade.
He's got his second. 33 years of age. Gary Ablett kicks his second. Wayne Campbell's come on for Gary Hocking. Gee, you're in a great position, aren't you? When Ablett's taking a kick from the goal square and you're able to put her off and put Campbell on.
It's been a terrific play too, Gary Hocking. And so watch his kick from Harvey. Just hold up a bit at the end. Look pretty good. It just didn't quite hit it right. You can see it floating back. And really a sitting target was Ben Hart in front of Gary Ablett.
So if it's not Tony Lockett kicking goals or Gary Lyon on that Victorian forward line, it's Gary Ablett who's now kicked his second. Victoria force it forward. Mansfield's right foot kick to half forward. The ball spills. Bickley across his left shoulder, back out towards the wing. Christou made a good contest of it. Darren Jarman tries to crash his way through, forces it clear for Daffy. Daffy's kick towards right half forward. Silvani backs himself. Knocked forward by Rashudo to the back of the pack. Bradley, desperate stuff by Nathan Burke. Great play. Callaway kicks it back to the centre and Harvey takes the mark. Goes to the opposite side. Stevens back to Mansfield, and now Mansfield kicks high towards the 50-metre line. It rebounds for Couch. He can't clear that area, and Chris McDermott ties it up. The umpire will bounce 53 metres from the Victorian goal.
Stewie Lowe hasn't got probably the plaudits today, but he's really kept that forward line open. He's marshalled that half forward line so players can run through there. It's been a terrific avenue. Lowe forced to do the ruck work at half forward. Boyd in after the football with Bullis, and the umpire will throw it in the air once again. 10-7 to 3-4. Victoria have kicked the first goal of the second half, and they lead by a healthy margin.
Jarman over the top of it. Boyd with him and Couch. Boyd running with Jarman today. Jarman's had 8 kicks, 5 handballs and a goal. Boyd has also kicked a goal and has had 5 and 5. So the Fitzroy captain. Low, well done. Almost to the goal square. Smart attacks it. Well played by Schwass. Campbell gets his first kick. Wanganeen back there. Runs right to the boundary line. Out on the full.
That wasn't bad play by Stevens, was it?
Well, Wanganeen drew the tackle, I thought, by hanging on to it for so long, actually, Robert.
There's a free kick going to South Australia.
Well, he's got the free against Stevens, so but he had kicked it out on the full now.
We look at this and...
oh, it's off Stevens, sorry.
Yes, it is too. Pretty good call, really.
So what's happened here? Wanganeen is going to get it from Ablett now. So 3-4 to 10-7. The people in the ground getting a different angle of it on the big screen would find it pretty hard to believe that it came off Stevens. Wanganeen busy in this quarter. Started in the centre square in this term. From the back pocket. Keeps it close to the line. Monkhorst and Bullis with the flyers. Well with Monkhorst. Quick hands by Mansfield. Back to Boyd to centre half forward. Lockett and Smart. Good bounce for the Vicks. Ablett. Schwass over the top. Tried to get it back. Harvey. Campbell. Good kick. It's a goal. Well, what better way to come onto the ground, Malcolm, get a quick kick and then another one and kick a goal.
This one, Campbell's had a marvellous season with Richmond, and one of those key Richmond players that see that side on top, and some good stuff again away from the ball. Ablett almost tripped up there, but fair enough. And Harvey again, he's just so clever, isn't he, in tight. There's Robert Harvey, and just thrown on the boot by Wayne Campbell, and the goal that South Australia didn't want.
Well, Victoria have added 2 goals since half-time, and South Australia yet to add to their half-time tally. Clark kicks to full forward. If it's not a mark, it certainly will be a free kick to Stephen Silvani. The mark was paid. He goes short to his Carlton teammate in Christou, and Christou is marked at left half-back. Sun shining brightly, and everybody's got onto the big wolf for Ange Christou. His kick has been marked by Monkhorst. Looks to play on. Gets it to Couch. Couch waits it just nicely to half forward. The ball to the back low, but a free kick has been picked out. It may be against Gary Lyon, and it will go to McKay. McKay at right half back. Gets it to Bickley. Bickley goes in towards the centre of the ground. Nearly taken by Big Clark. Hand pass. Just a little sloppy. Made it difficult for McDermott. Andrew Jarman tidies up and then kicks towards centre-half forward. Punched away again by Silvani. Gathered there was by Daffy. Was tackled by Christou. Ball spills for Bays. Bays goes high. Back towards the centre of the ground. Platten does well with his body. In front of Boyd. Chance now for Viney. Viney's kicked to full forward. Here's an opportunity for a South Australian goal. Champion can't hook the ball anywhere near as much as he would have liked. And it bounces over for a throw-in the right forward pocket for the Crow Eaters. They trail 3-4 to 11-7. Pretty well halfway through the third term.
51-point margin. Silvani and Hines. Silvani in the front spot. Platten, Rasciuto tucked in the pocket. Handball back to Hines. Smothered by Silvani. Good play. Platten hooks it back from behind. South Australia up to 3-5 to 11-7. Platten with 7 kicks, 3 handballs. Playing in his 13th State of Origin game today. Malcolm Blight, who's working with us, played 7 state matches for South Australia and 7 for Victoria. Free kick to Wanganeen. Starting to get plenty of the footy. Measures at the full forward. Silvani flies. Hines, Champion. Snap by Rasciuto. Coming back. Good kick, Rasciuto. It's a goal. Rasciuto's first. South Australia's fourth. 11-7. Victoria 4-5. South Australia.
Yes, Mark Rasciuto has been a bit quieter. Now playing at centre-half forward this quarter. Isn't that a much more honest contest than from Hines? I mean, he really did have a go at it then, and really did force some pressure to come from behind, and it's fallen. It's amazing how many times, if you go honest at the footy, either a teammate or you end up with it.
11-7 to 4-5. 10 minutes left in the third term. Clark for South Australia. Monkhorst for Victoria. Monkhorst better balanced. Couch, lovely hand pass. Boyd over the top. Schwass. Kick to half forward by Schwass. Chance for Lowe. Tries to knock it forward. Bullis quite content there to see it over the line. 50 metres from the Victorian goal. Lowe now to do the ruck work. And Bullis his immediate opponent. Ball hits the ground. Andrew Jarman. Boyd again in the middle of the action there. But the umpire will throw it in the air. 50 metres from Victoria's goal on a very, very cold day in Melbourne. The sun shining probably adds a little bit of flavour to the day, but it has been quite nasty. Harvey to O'Donnell. O'Donnell's high kick to half forward. Terrific leap by McKay. Couldn't gather the ball, and the umpire will come in and ball it up once again.
Graham Corns' perfect record being challenged today. 6 times against Victoria, he's been a winner. Couch, 11th kick, and that one behind. It's been great, Couch. 11-8 to 4-5. What a season he's having. Twice he's won the best and fairest at his club. Brownlow medalist. He's played in 3 grand finals. 11-8, 4-5. Hart short to McKay. At centre half back to Ben Hart. And this is, I guess, South Australia's only hope against Ablett and Lockett was that they are able to run off them, and it hasn't worked today. Burke attacks it strongly. He's got on top of Bradley as the game's gone on. Works it towards Lyon. Good contest by O'Donnell. He played very well against the odds there. Lyon pushes it in the Burke direction. And 2 or 3 semi-high tackles allowed to go on then. And a throw in between centre wing and half forward for Victoria.
You called it pretty well there, Bruce. That little push from Lyon just to try and give Burke a chance. Unbelievable, 10-3 marks. It's not using the ball at all well, South Australia.
Monkhorst chopped off by Wanganeen. Forces a free kick with a handball. At centre wing.
Let's get a lot of free kicks actually in his Brownlow medal year. Mick Maldas, the one who's up there giving away, well, got the most free kicks, will probably win the medal. It's quite an interesting comment.
Wanganeen into the centre. Victoria still with numbers. Rasciuto's hands okay. Darren Jarman on the end of it. Little one okay to Bradley. Should go back, have a shot. It's a long kick. No reason why he can't make it from there.
Well, it's the fact about over the last 50 minutes, it's only a couple of goals down South Australia. It was really that burst early in the first quarter. Since then, if we kick this, it'll only be a goal down from that time onwards.
Bradley from right on 50 where he'll kick it. Times it pretty well for distance, but not accuracy. It was a push to the right. And goals have been pretty hard, Malcolm, to the left with Hocking, Ablett, Lockett all missed set shots, and now Bradley.
Yes.
Silvani goes long, outside 50 metres. Good positioning made there by Boyd. Forced to kick with his left foot, but he did it well and lobbed it with Stuart Lowe. Lowe's on centre wing. He plays on quickly. That's not a bad kick either. Good running provided by Mansfield. Harassment there by McDermott, but Mansfield did very well. Hand pass Boyd. Leaves it behind. Jarman provided the pressure. McDermott goes down once again. Kick forward by Boyd. The mark taken by Lyon. He plays on quickly. In towards Monkhorst, who has run right down the ground. He started to play at half-back. He'll go on quickly. Kick it into the pocket. Couch from an angle. Not favoured by his left foot, but he does it beautifully and kicks the goal. Paul Couch has now kicked 2 goals, along with Gary Ablett. Tony Lockett, 5, is the leading goal scorer on the ground. Victoria lead 12-8 to 4-6. It's a 50-point game.
Yes, it's the little things in footy. Craig Bradley missing that goal down the other end. And Victoria are able to whip it down. Michael Mansell's did some great running and great team play then for Paul Couch to end up with a pretty easy goal for Couchy.
12-8, 4-6. Couch now with a couple of goals. Viney's handball good to Andrew Jarman. 2 half forward. Rashudo and Hines for South Australia. Silvani, well done. Rashudo's tackle okay. Silvani, Kellaway held up. Hines was going to go off the ground, but Daffy had his hands on the footy and he had to withdraw it. But some superb play by Silvani there.
Yeah, it's just great control, isn't it? Just never took his eyes off the footy at any stage, and he really tried to do something special.
Now umpire Goldspink went to ground, so he's going to have another go here. Ruckman getting in close. Monkhorst and Clark. A lot of publicity during the week over wrestling tactics by the rucks in this situation. Clark, Rashudo, Christou, free kick Rashudo at 50. Now we know he's a long kick. He's going to kick from beyond 50 metres though. South Australian forwards come out, leave the goal square vacant, not a bad ploy. Rashudo gets onto it pretty well. Great kick, it's right there. Champion off his hands. So Rashudo, who's kicked South Australia's goal in this term. Harvey and Hocking sitting there, and between them, they've played a big role as Matthew Knights gets his first run. 4-7, 12-8.
And the kick in by Stephen Silvani finds Kellaway. Kellaway runs on. Gets past, good shepherd provided, make a path there for Kellaway. Bays gathers the ball, his kick towards half forward. McKay and Gary Lyon. Andrew McKay close to the line, handball. Chance now for Bickley, it must be over surely. Too close there to the boundary line, and a throw-in will take place about 65 metres around from the Victorian goal.
Interesting ploy that Stewie Lowe plays further up the ground and Gary Lyon almost playing centre half forward there. It was just a great team understanding.
So the throw in, Mansfield gets his left foot to it, gathers about 25-30 metres towards the left forward pocket area. It's about 30 metres around, 35 metres around as David Neitz prepares to come onto the ground as South Australian boys warming up in the background, and it is Gary Lyon to come off for his Melbourne teammate David Neitz. Lowe does the ruck work. Andrew Jarman tackled by Boyd, gets the hand pass. Couch sweeps the hand pass back towards half forward. Boyd may get another goal. No, he won't. He'll give it to Gary Ablett, who'll get a goal. Gary Ablett kicks his 3rd goal. It just looks so pedestrian. I was actually waiting for the umpire maybe to give a free kick against Gary Ablett, but he's got his 3rd goal and Victoria have kicked their 13th.
Yes, I think you'll find that Ben Hart thought that he might have been on a free kick here too, but when Boyd does very well, once again those 50-50s, and it really is almost a push, half push side, half push back. But nevertheless, Gary Ablett's got his 3rd goal.
Wayne Campbell and Gavin Wanganeen. Ablett with 3. He's kicked 42 goals in State of Origin footy. He's closing in on Paul Salmon, who's got the record for Victoria on 45. 13-8 to 4-7. Big V completely in control now. Couch tackled by Andrew Jum, and Burke brought to ground by Todd Viney's strong arms. And another bounce in the centre square. 86 to 31. 55 points. Big. Look at the difference in the handballs as well. Every way you look at it, it's the big V way out in front today. Mansfield at centre wing goes out wide towards the boundary line. Campbell, little kick, and
brought down.
Free kick to Campbell.
Bit of a mismatch at the back end here. Neitz is on and Mackay's picked him up, so certainly giving away a lot of inches at the back. But certainly a high tackle on Wayne Campbell, and rightly called by the umpire.
Victoria make the ruck change. Monkhorst off and Stein's on.
Campbell to half forward. Great mark by Neitz. He's just come onto the ground. Quickly on the handball to the pocket. Couch getting the kick away. So the big monkey taking a message there. They'll be pretty happy with him today. Pittman, that's a bit of a surprise that he's off the ground for so long, because he was South Australia's outstanding player in the first quarter. Platten, tackled by Stevens, just stopped him from getting the kick away. And Knight's getting amongst the action.
Bruce Monkhorst, 8 kicks, 10 handballs, 10 marks.
And look at Neitz just come onto the ground. That's pretty good form. When you run on, you'd be cold, as Malcolm Blight said, and you take a grab like that. Bickley over the top of it. But for South Australia at the moment, they're just looking for some inspiration from somewhere.
Yes. Obviously, the tackle's going in Victoria's favour.
Neitz again, round the body. Lockett in the goal square. He's got it.
Too strong.
Just to say, McInnes, Platten's got to carry the whole workload for that on-ball division with his legs, and it's just too hard for one player to do. He really hasn't had anyone else to share that running with him today. And that's just another great mark from Lockett.
It's kick 5. And this for his best performance ever by Victoria in a State of Origin game against South Australia.
And if he kicks this is the total that Lockett and Dunstall got in that great win they had last time over South Australia. 9 goals between the two of them. This time, of course, with Ablett.
Yes, Ablett with 3 at the moment, and Lockett with 5. What a star Lockett's been in this match. Foregone conclusion for the big fella from there. So 6 goals to Lockett. And he must be one of the favourites, Malcolm Blight, for the E.J. Whitten medal today. It's going to be a pretty tough call. He's got some very big opposition, but he has been a big playmaker.
Yes, he has. As you called it, David Neitz on for the first time, and great mark. Yeah, actually, I mean, Michael Mansfield's played very well, consistent. They're resting Harvey and Hocking, which really makes it tough for them to win it.
What's the situation with David Pittman, Dipper?
Yeah, Bruce, he's injured his right knee. He has been iced throughout the last quarter, and the doctors will look at it after the game.
Gee, let's hope he's all right for the future too, because he's such an important player back in South Australia. 14-8 to 4-7.
Yeah, 61 points is the advantage now with Victoria. And Chris McDermott. Gee, 2 good tackles there provided by Stevens and Boyd. Chris McDermott picks himself up from the centre of the MCG. Just about 2.5 minutes left now in this third quarter.
Just throw it up.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of over officiating there by the umpire, trying to get some room to bounce it. Now he starts play. McDermott gets the ball to Bickley. Bickley off the left foot. Kicks it high with a pretty simple mark in the finish. Well, he made it look simple, Ange Christou. And he has taken the ball at centre half back, nearly up to the centre of the ground. Sweeping kick to right half forward, out in front there of Lowe. The ball rebounds. Schwass across to Stevens. Stevens to full forward. Lockett out in front. Powerful man, Tony Lockett. Very, very difficult for Smart to displace him, and he has a chance to get his 7th goal.
Yes, and I suppose if the backman's aim of trying to play in front, if you do that, he jumps on you, and if you get caught behind him, he outbolts you. So very, very difficult opponent.
Concentrates very hard with his setup, doesn't
Yes,
he?
he
He's
does.
kicking a goal.
Yeah, that's what he's there for. He knows that. He's very professional in this way, the way he goes about this kicking for goal.
40 metres straight in front. Kicks and kicks accurately. 7 goals now to Lockett. 7 goals, 1. So his conversion rate has been nigh on impeccable, and Victoria get their 15th goal.
There's a fantastic jump from a big fella. Have a look at that. I mean, that's a super jump off the ground from that camera angle there. That very unique kicking style.
Lockett with 7 goals. Ablett has kicked 3. Couch has kicked 2. The leading goal scorers for Victoria, and South Australia, of course, are all singles.
The Vics have kicked the last 4 goals, 15-8 to 4-7. The big margin of the day. Jarman out of the centre, marked by Rasciuto. He's the South Australian goal scorer in this quarter. Centering kick, wanting champion. Bayes has played very well today. So Swash. Daffy trying to run it forward. Christou getting back there. Victoria hold it up as they've done so well. Wayne Schwass on the bottom of it. And it's going to be a ball up about 40 metres from South Australia's goal.
I think Lockett might have his name on that medal now, don't you?
I would say, yep.
Yes, he'll be... You'd reckon he's favourite for Club Ted, wouldn't you, to get the EJ with 7 goals. No matter what happens from here on in, it's been the major contribution.
I think you either look for consistency or look for the match winner, and I think you've got to say Lockett set it up probably as early as the first quarter.
And there's a lot of consistency out there for Victoria, so it's pretty hard to decipher between one and the other, Malcolm, as Tregenza goes into the pocket, Bayes, and a great quarter for Victoria. In that quarter, the big V kick, 6 goals, 1. Lockett getting a couple, Ablett getting a couple, Harvey getting 1. A correction, Lockett 2 and Ablett 2 were the main ones. Campbell, the others. 15-8 to 4-7. So South Australia managed 1 goal 3 to 6 goals 1. 33 points at quarter time, 39 at half time, 67 at 3/4 time. It really has blown out. Lockett with 7 goals. That's his best haul in State of Origin footy. On a bitterly cold day in Melbourne, but really warmed the hearts of all Victorian supporters what they've seen today. Viney's kick. He gets a free kick out of the centre square. Andrew Jarman telling him, kick it down long. Hines, Silvani, Stevens has been excellent to centre wing. Couch, superb game to Schwass. Good tackle by Viney. Well in the back, apparently. Did ride him into the ground, but the interpretation of that rule over the years has changed a fair bit. Couch into the centre. That was a little shove on Campbell. Mansfield held up by Darren Jarman and Wanganeen. And Michael Mansfield with a wry smile. AFL Team of the Year last year, Mansfield. It was his big breakthrough year. Emerged as an important player in the game. Couch's little give was terrific. Boyd round the body to centre half forward. Through both those players. Champion up from full back in trouble. Knights, very well done. Little left foot at that time by Neitz, but on hands and knees and getting back as he does so often for Essendon. Wanganeen holds them up. Looks for an option. Goes in short, goes to half-back and gets to McKinnon, who's the lone teenager out there today. The only teenager on the park getting his first run.
McKinnon's kick goes wide to the wing. All the way down from full forward was Lockett, but it ball spills for Tregenza. Tregenza on centre wing. Kicks towards half forward. Goes through Christou. Some good work by Callaway. And he tackles from the ground, which wasn't too bad. But Jarman able to get it away. Tregenza's kick towards full forward. Back goes Silvani. Gives away a little bit of ground. May give away a behind. No, left it behind altogether. And the free kick is going to Victoria to be taken by O'Donnell. Well, the umpire indicating that he was being held. Chris McDermott looks pensive. O'Donnell will take the free kick on the full back line. Gary O'Donnell Now probably one of the first players picked in a Victorian team. He's been a very reliable player for Essendon over a long period of time and hasn't let the big V down when he's been picked in this team. Nigel Smart trying to crash his way clear. Gives away the hand pass. Bickley. Little kick in towards half-forward O'Donnell over the top of Viney. It spills for Wanganeen, and Wanganeen gets a goal for the Crow Eaters.
Yes, Gavin Wanganeen now playing up the ground and got some important touches in that third quarter. Just once again, talking to Kevin Sheedy about him, he said whenever he throws him up for Essendon, he always kicks the goal. It's just one of those players that finds a goal when he's moved forward. And once again, read it beautifully off hands there. Great contest from Viney. And just pretty cool was Gavin Wanganeen to pop it through.
Back to a 10-goal game. Monkhorst to do better with Clark. Remembering Pittman is injured. 15-8-5-7. Campbell, well done to Boyd. To centre half forward, Lowe to Knights. Well played. Knights on the left. Great kick. Oh, Ablett nearly took a spectacular one. Then tried to sock it through. Champion in the back pocket. Keeps it low. Darren Jarman's had a quiet one. Twists and turns. Mansfield's got hold of him. Jarman did pretty well in the end to get it to Champion. Champion to centre wing. Daffy and Christou. Christou's had the best of that duel. Daffy on the interchange for most of the second quarter out of play.
I almost thought Ablett was going to kick it off the ground underneath the tackler.
He tried it, didn't he? He's all forever thinking.
I mean, underneath hard. Look, watch this. I mean, he's almost... Only his knee stayed that, you know.
Platten's kick out on the fall.
There's poor old Johnny Platten. It's been against the odds, hasn't it? But he just hasn't given up battling for South Australia.
He's one of a couple of Hawthorn players out there for South Australia today. Mansfield, Bays liked his game. He's just swooped at the back. Look at that kick to his teammate in Lockett. Tony's going to play it on quickly to Ablett. Oh, it's a celebration, isn't it?
He's been a quiet little achiever in the middle too. I think, like Boyd, I think Boyd's been good. He's just got those little touches that have cleared the congestion area.
Yes, it's interesting to see Bob Skilton said about Mansfield. He's had 18 touches, Mansfield. He's been pretty good. Really set that up, and that kick from Bays was just beautiful.
To Lockett to Ablett. Ablett going for goal number 4. Just a push. So he's had a lot of shots for goal, as he so often does. I got him down for 3 goals, 3, and he did kick one out of bounds on the fall under pressure. 15-9-5-7.
That's got to be the letdown play of the day, doesn't it? It really was set up for, as I said, Lockett to Ablett goal, back to the centre.
Andrew McKay making position for Ben Hart, but he ignores that lead and goes long, straight down the ground. South Australia with the numbers here. Darren Jarman tries the big torpedo punt kick. To a certain extent, it came off. At 50 metres, Silvani, the shepherd for Christou, spins his way out of trouble, then couldn't quite get the hand pass clear. The ball spills for Nathan Burke, but the boundary line looms up, and a boundary throw-in will take place. Gary Hocking to go on, and Brad Boyd to have a spell on the bench. Right half forward for South Australia. The ruckman, Clark, comes back towards Todd Viney. He's in trouble, able to get the ball clear for Darren Jarman. His kick towards full forward. Silvani, kicked off the ground by David Hines. Is it Rashudo? Rashudo has kicked a goal for South Australia. Second goal to Mark Rashudo. He becomes South Australia's first multiple goal scorer. Victoria lead 15-9-6-7.
This Mark Rashudo hasn't had a lot of the ball today. Watching Stephen Silvani here. Almost could have been paid the free kick. I didn't think you're allowed to put a saddle on him in this game, but he's hurt his shoulder by the look of it. And the ball feeling free to Rashudo. Wonderful soccer skills.
15-9-6-7. Silvani, bit of a shoulder injury there. Hines falling on top of him. And as Robbo said, Rashudo, the lone multiple goal scorer for South Australia with 2. Clark, Monkhorst, Campbell out of the centre. Up to half forward. Lowe, good catch almost. Got close. It was a terrific effort by Lowe. and being picked up, and he has been an unsung hero today. Lowe's done very well.
Bruce, not many people going at the moment. I really do think they want to see Lockett and Ablett for a bit more, just to savour the moment, savour the day.
You might get a chance here. They're both in the fray. Ablett just scoops it out to Lockett. That time smothered by Lockett comes across and Ben Hart misses him and says, you know,
the windscreen wiper.
Half forward right. Big V in attack. Couch, Platten, McKay. Mansfield.
Chris, I was just thinking it's probably almost a disappointment if someone else kicks a goal other than Lockett or Ablett.
No doubt about that. I mean, that was the great build-up before the game. The two of them in tandem. An opportunity to see two men in between them have kicked over 1,800 goals. Going together, Hocking up to Mansfield. Well, Geelong players are doing pretty well, aren't they?
Yes, they are indeed.
Hocking, Couch, Mansfield and Ablett. They had the greatest number of representation for Victoria today at 4. And Michael Mansfield, whose emergence is exciting, isn't it, in the game?
Marvellous.
Remember, he kicked half a dozen against Collingwood at Victoria Park one day when you threw him up forward. And he goes from 45 metres, and he must have heard me because he gives it a bit of a hook. And goals continue to be hard to get to the left. Remembering Malcolm, the Victoria has kicked 12 of its goals to the right-hand end. 12 of the 15 at that end. And that breeze is very swirly once the ball gets above ground level. Ben Hart to bring her back in.
Good kick by that player in towards the centre. Nearly the mark taken by Monkhorst. Gary Hocking, Tregenza. Good hands for Andrew Jarman. Runs his full distance and then maybe looking for the free kick. Punched away by Silvani. Gathered. No, he couldn't collect the ball. Daffy. Kick for goal by Nick Daffy. Bounces through. South Australia get another goal. So Nick Daffy kicks his first goal. He's had a bit of a tough time. He's been on and off the bench. 15-10, plays 7-7.
And Daffy, as he's done for Richmond for a fair bit of this year, been an opportunist up forward. And South Australia, that's their third goal for the quarter, and Victoria have yet to kick one. So they certainly haven't given it away to South Australians, which is fantastic for the game.
.13 minutes left in the game. 51 points is the margin. Clark takes it out of the centre and kicks South Australia towards full forward. Nearly the mark to Silvani. Recovery not bad. Tackled there by Darren Jarman. Nearly gathered by Daffy. Gary Hocking gives away ground. Darren Jarman goes in and gets another one. So South Australia 8 goals on the board now. Darren Jarman kicks his first goal. And Graham Corns still not a smile on his face because they trail 8-7 to 15-10.
Yes, as well as Gary Hocking, really, I'm not quite sure what Gary was trying to do with it then, but nevertheless it fell to Darren Jarman, who Michael Mansfield's done a pretty good job on him, I think, and although Jarman at times has looked threatening.
18 of the 23 goals have been kicked to the right of screen today. 15-8, South Australia with 4 goals in the last quarter against Victoria's 0, but it's still a whopping margin. Knights to Campbell. McKinnon. Under pressure, Bullis, good handball in the end. Hart was trying to feed it off, then did pretty well to switch the play. Wanganeen and Tregenza. Schwass outnumbered. South Australia should get away with it. Tregenza spins. Here's a chance. McKay to Wanganeen. Wanganeen at centre wing, keeps it low, up towards half forward. Monkhorst. Actually not a great option by Wanganeen. Cut off well by Viney. Poor handball though. Rashudo went to ground. South Australia still not very clean. Platten back to McKinnon's, a long left footer normally. Gets it to centre half forward. Hines, oh, Silvani too good. Outpositioned him completely. He's had the better of the duel. Comes wide. Gary Hocking on the end of it now. Matthew Knights will be on the end of this. If the Buddha goes that way into Stevens, he's got Knights if he wants him, or he can square it up to Couch. Goes in short for Lowe. Over the back. Probably wasted that a bit, the Vicks. Here's McKinnon using Champion. Champion at centre half back. High ball. Smart in the box seat. Bayes was. Campbell on the end of it. Gets a kick away. Centre wing Tregenza has had a fair bit of the football. 15th kick coming up. to half forward. Platten all on his own. Probably can run away from the monkey if he wants to. Decides not to. He's at 50. Hines leads. Jarman lurking in the goal square. That's Darren Jarman. Looking for an opportunist goal. Platten high ball. Good kick by the Rat right there. Now Darren Jarman tries to get into it. And it's through for a behind. So South Australia doing most of the attacking. 8-8 to 15 goals 10.
Amazing kick from Stevens. Instead of giving it to the player loose, he went to the centre half forward, very much like they play at North Melbourne. It's just interesting, isn't it, when you watch blokes do it?
Silvani's kick in finds Anthony Stevens in the back pocket. He goes wide, down towards the wing. Matthew Knights tries to get his player underneath the ball, then taps on. Christou to Gary Hocking. Gary Hocking's high kick towards half forward. Punched away, but only as far as Couch. Watch Couch finish this. Paul Couch, magnificent. 3 goals to Couch, and along with Gary Ablett and Tony Lockett, they had kicked 13 of those 16 Victorian goals.
Yes, the wonderful skills of Paul Couch. Pretty good contest here. Neitz was late, and the ball's gone inside from a right-handed punch, and Couchy normally doesn't mind chipping him to Ablett, but he thought he may as well join the party himself, and 3 goals. He's been a very good player, Paul Couch.
Schwass off, Harvey on, Couch with 3. Monkhorst to go with Clark. Victoria 16 goals to 8. Big roar around the ground as the Victorian crowd are celebrating a famous victory. Bradley's kick. Well done, Christou. Jarman tried to. Couch has been superb. Viney well played. G&D by Viney as he kicks to half forward. Mansfield stood his ground very well. Daffy on the end of it, on the left foot to full forward. Well way to kick. Platten at the back. The little rat. He's got it. No free kick coming back against Platten to Stevens. Just a little argument there. There's Schwass. The Rat just asking Peter Kerry exactly what it was for. Johnny Platten shared that Brownlow medal with Tony Lockett back in 1987. Stevens wide to Matthew Knights. Tregenza with him. Here's Wanganeen. Well, he goes short to Platten. He'll kick it over the top towards Hines. Goes over the top. Silvani got rid of Hines. Campbell's handball, very good. Stevens continuing to get touches to centre wing. McKay sits and waits. Bickley there with Tregenza. Tried to spin around. Neitz was able to hold him up. Little kick by South Australia, only as far as O'Donnell. His give to Campbell. Campbell, great kick to Neitz.
Neitz plays on quickly. Kicks in towards half forward. Poorly directed kick, but Lowe does well to make the contest with Bullis. Couch doesn't do too bad, actually. Knight's beautiful hands. Now the ball up forward for Monkhorst. Oh, look at this! Oh, Damien Monkhorst, you'd be happy with that. For a big man who fell over in the first place, trying to gather the ball, and then got his footing, and have a look what his rewards are. Have a spell on the bench, son.
This is as exciting as it gets, isn't it? The kick really missed him, and Ablett wasn't sure what to do. I mean, the golden rule is to probably monkey through, but he got through on his hands and knees.
17-10 to 8-8. Monkhorst off the ground. What a way to go off the big monkey. Absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? Viney got it from Jarman. Now Tregenza at 50. Back to Smart. Put him under pressure. Had to ride it. Smart goes inside. Handball over the top by Rashudo. Daffy hooks it back. And it's going to squeeze through from behind. So credit to the South Australians here. They've kept on trying, battling away. 8-9 to 17-10. Darren Jarman sitting it out now. Scott Russell. It'll have to come back. The umpire hadn't quite put the flag in the hole. 17-10, 8-9 Silvani. What's the situation with Darren Jarman?
Yeah, Bruce, he's come off the ground with a slight hamstring problem on his right leg. He said it's made towards his back.
Thanks for that, Dipper. 50 against Platten to Stevens. So Johnny Platten giving a couple of free kicks away. Stevens had taken the mark here, but the last time he did, he'd kicked a goal and Stevens got the free kick in the goal square for Victoria defending. 17, 10, 8, 9. Oh, good take by Buddha. As you said, Malcolm, earlier, just one last Lockett and Ablett goal would just top this up wonderfully. Ablett in the middle, Bickley, champion. Crowd are just waiting for something to happen as far as the big two are concerned. Steins takes it. Lockett leads. Very wide. He's on the end of it. He'll play on. Oh, he could have. Champion ran over the mark. Now, Ablett's in the goal square. Tony will look for him. He's called to play on now, Tony Lockett. He does run around. Oh, don't tell me he'll kick it. Lockett lines them up. No, across the face. Little shove. Ablett gets his hand on it. It's behind, is it? Now it is. Neats was it with Ablett. Thought he was going to kick a screamer there, Malcolm.
I think there were some tired legs that went then too. Didn't quite kick up on the footy.
Gee, I don't know who would have been more excited, the fans here or you, Bruce, if you'd have kicked that.
Even you would have got out. I reckon even you would have got out of your chair then, Robbo.
He kicks it down towards the wing and over in front of Bays and Nigel Smart for a throw-in. Lockett has kicked 7. Gary Ablett 3, Paul Couch 3. And for South Australia, Mark Rasciuto is their leading goal scorer with 2. 7 3/4 minutes left in the game. It's been a good effort by both sides. The Victorian side with 17 goals, 11 against their name, and South Australia 8-9, and they've kicked 4 goals to of that score in this last term so far. Bullis with the ball, left half back for South Australia. Playing on Stuart Lowe, goes in short, finds Todd Viney. He squares it back towards the centre of the ground. Scott Russell back on the ground, runs through the middle. Kicks long, in towards full forward. And judging it just a little better than David Hines was Silvani. And he marks safely. Gets it back towards half-back. Harvey takes the mark. Looks to play on. He's got a player running. It's Hocking. Gary Hocking off his left foot. Oh, beautiful pass. Lowe has taken the mark. Handballs away to O'Donnell. O'Donnell off the right foot. Out in front, Lockett's got it. Now maybe he can kick his 8th goal. He will go short, and he will find Ablett.
Yes. Oh, please, Gary, kick it.
Big Tony's got the EJ, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes. Look at that. Gary went to go back, and Ben Hart was absolutely bemused by all that. Great get. 2 for a man 33, getting down that low this late in the game.
Seen tremendous examples by both Lockett and Ablett today, low marks.
Ablett kicking from about 40 metres. Slide angle, and yes, he's kicked it. 4 goals to Gary Ablett. So that means 11 and 3, 14 of the 18 goals coming from Lockett, Ablett and Couch.
Yes, this will be part of folklore, I'm sure, in years and years to come. The Lockett and Ablett show between them, and as did Dunstall and Lockett. And it's just great to see the two of them together. Work so well. And I think respect each other's ability with what they're doing.
18-11 to 8-9. Through the centre, Viney. Kick away by Bays. Up to half forward. Russell back on the ground, as we said. Bickley started on the interchange, kicks to half forward for South Australia.
Oh, super.
Phil, what a game he's played. To his teammate in Couch. Couch goes away to half forward. Neats, good hands, great mark. It really is a celebration, isn't it, for Victoria today? Ablett and Lockett in the square. Well, Neats is such a thumping kick. He could just kick it over everybody's head for a goal. Lockett now pointing there. Youngest player for Victoria out there today, 20 years of age. He's already played 50 AFL games. From 50. Doesn't quite straighten it up. Through from behind. 18 goals, 12 to 8-9. Well, you can say for sure that nobody's let the big V down. Malcolm Blake's just leaving us. Thanks very much, Malcolm. Malcolm's going down to present the Malcolm Blake Cup to the Victorian team, who will be the winners after the match. Steins takes the mark.
Did well there, Jimmy Steins, and plays on quickly. Crosses to the far side. Knights got a bit of space. The ball eventually bounces nicely for him. Handball back to Stevens. Anthony Stevens has done his customary job for Victoria, as he normally does with North Melbourne. Gary O'Donnell out in front. Lockett in front of champion. Pretty good crowd here, considering these conditions, Bruce. It's over 60,000, so I think the officials would be fairly pleased with that.
Official attendance 64,186.
Just a replay there of that passage of play, which has landed the ball with Tony Lockett. He'll kick from 40 metres. Geez, 7 goals, 13 marks, his 14th kick, maybe his 8th goal. Victorian football fans, very, very loyal. Tony Lockett, there'll be a big cheer if he can kick this. Anti-climax. He's kicked it out of bounds. He's missed everything. So you go from one extreme to the other. 7 goals, 1, and then from 40 metres, you miss everything. Amazing stuff. Ben Hart, no one on the mark, so he gets about 5 or 6 metres and then kicks it nearly out to the wing. No mark. Jimmy Steins, quick recovery. Gary Hocking, low. Bradley, eventually. McKinnon, back to Wanganeen. Wanganeen in the centre of the ground. Hooks the kick to half forward. The ball spills for Daffy. Gets onto his right foot, kicks it across the half forward line. Bradley chips in and marks. And Craig Bradley has a chance to kick a goal for the Crow Eaters. Missed one down the other end of the ground from a similar distance. 8 goals 9 to 18 goals 12. The scoreline at the moment. 3 minutes left in the game. Craig Bradley hooks the kick. And it's a mark anyway, I would think, to Stephen Silvani, right on the goal line for Victoria. He's been a good player. Back there, marshalling his troops on the full-back line. And Silvani goes long, outside 50 metres.
Mansfield again in the front spot. Gives it off to Hocking. Sweeps it out wide to Bays. There just has not been a weak link when you look around the ground to Neats. Every one of the 22 players has made a contribution today for the Big V. Neats low was the target. Came to ground, Platten, handball. Russell just slipped, couched. What a game he's played. Chips it back to Neats, getting very much into the action after being on the interchange for most of the game. Centering kick, looking towards Kellaway at centre half forward. Handball by Knights, good. Good tackle, Andrew Jarman. Did a very good job there on O'Donnell. Tregenza got it across to Platten. Platten out towards Burke and Bradley. Burke probably just shading Bradley today after Bradley had started pretty well. Here's Campbell. Just a little chip to Harvey, running onto it. 9 kicks in the first quarter for Harvey. Lockett may lead, Ablett in the pocket. Now Lockett goes short, no, tries to work to the front. And a strong mark, surely taken by Champion. Now, be ridiculous if something silly happens here.
Just got a little frustrated there. He did provide the lead and then Harvey misread it. Tony had ducked back and then the short kick marked by Champion.
Looks for Wellman, Christou. Harvey still in play. Harvey to Burke, to Stevens, to Christou. Ablett. Well done, Hart. Wanganeen. McKinnon. Long ball to centre wing. Mansfield is just killing them. What a game he's playing. Chips away Andrew Jarman. Ooh, just got off balance. Wins it back. Sweeps the handball to Bickley, squares it to Wanganeen, who's probably favourite, I'd say, to win the Foss Williams. Wanganeen to half forward. Rashuto to Hines, smothered by Burke in the pocket, out of play inside the last half minute. Great performance, Robbo. 18-12 to 8-9.
Oh, well, I think that most people thought that Victoria would win.
Now, 4's on with the bookies. I mean, they lined up so strongly. Arguably one of the best teams ever on paper.
Yes, and they've just gone right on with it. South Australia, to their credit, have fought it out quite nicely, but, well, they may get another goal here. Who knows?
Kellaway back to Bays. Hasn't made a mistake all day, Bays. To centre wing, Hocking, free kick. So could the Vicks get one last one? There's 20 seconds remaining. Stevens to centre wing. Neats on the left. Could Ablett take it? Hart, well done that time. Out of play. And that's going to be just about it. Ted Whitten Jr., who was embraced by his father before the game. Teddy Whitten, senior. 29 times he played for Victoria, and this match has been built around EJ all week. He was in the ruins before the game. That's it. The Vicks have won it. A famous victory. Lockett and Ablett, 11 between them. Lockett surely will join the club of Ted tonight. 18-12 to 8-9.
Thank you.
Tremendous performance by Victoria. Shades of 1989 when they won by over 80 points, and today the margin